Hello, this is Sully for antisocialnews.com, and this is today's body count report for Tuesday, July 25th, where I'm going to look at news stories from around the world about people either fighting for or losing their lives. First story is out of India. There was a building collapse. Death toll is 8. And there's a probe ordered. This is a scary situation because a lot of people just trust their buildings. Story is out of Times of India. Link in the description below. This is probably the most frustrating story I could imagine. I'm so enraged by this story. Honestly, Israel has a right to defend themselves. They are a country. They put up security measures because 2 police officers got shot on the Temple Mount, and they put up further intense security measures, and people protested that. And they protested it, some of them protested by stabbing people. They were protesting metal detectors, and the way they were protesting metal detectors was using small pieces of metal to stab people. Small concealable pieces of metal. And instead of Israel going, "That's stupid, you are validating our point," which is what I've been saying for days, they appease the idiots, the people who are so stupid, that have no sense of irony, who think that stabbing people to prove a point about metal detectors, those people got validated. Not logic, not reason. So I can barely see straight. I'm so angry because modern man is under attack by Iron Age throwbacks, and modern man said, "Whoa, whoa, I'm sorry. Does this technology offend you? I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw. I threw it in the trash. It's in the trash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Iron Age throwbacks. I apologize. No more modern technology for me. I want you to be content." So I I I guess this is it. We're just going to watch Israel continue to appease savagery. They're going to keep appeasing barbarism, and Israel will be no more. Israel's going to die because they just keep ceding authority to savages who stab people with screwdrivers and knives. Um, I I'm just so blown away by this. This was a story I thought was going to be a story about people fighting for their lives. It's just about people giving them up. Israel removes Temple Mount metal detectors that enraged the Muslim world because the Muslim world hated having a little bit of extra security to protect themselves from the Muslim world, seeing that Muslims are the #1 victims of Muslim terror. They should have liked that. They should have liked having that extra security because it would protect them from the radicals of their own faith. But no, they don't want that. All right, I'm gonna jump around here a little bit. I'm gonna go. Let's go to Manila. Now, I've been focusing on the Mindanao situation, but there's still the war on drugs going on. So this is a very interesting story. Jail or hell, Duterte says. Drug war will be unrelenting. So if anyone's unfamiliar with the drug war in the Philippines, check out this link in the description. It's a pretty shocking story of extrajudicial killings and vigilantism being encouraged by the government. It creates a pretty scary situation in some of the lower income parts of the Philippines. So it's It's a pretty shocking story. Check it out. And the last two stories that I'm going to jump to here um, is about Nigeria and Boko Haram. So I'm going to link these stories together here, but the United Nations urges Nigeria to rescue all Chibok girls, ensure schooling. If anyone's unfamiliar, there's a group that is uh, now considered to be an ISIS affiliate or ISIS adherent called Boko Haram in northern Nigeria. That the government of Nigeria has been kind of sitting on their hands about, instead of sending a bunch of guns to just go up there and annihilate these guys. They've just sort of been like, oh well, they're in the north, you know. Some Nigerians even believe that the government is encouraging Boko Haram. Um, so there's that. There's a lot of distrust amongst the Nigerian people and their government, and I think for good reason, since this ragtag game of illiterate savages has taken over territory in the north of their country, while their government, um, their government is functional enough to have dealt with the uh, pandemic a couple years back, the Ebola pandemic. Yet all the science and technology that they have to deal with that, they're just at a loss when it comes to savages with a few guns up in the north of their land. So, and you know, there's just such a bizarre mixed opinion whenever I talk to somebody from Nigeria about this, because some of it's like, oh well, that's just in the north, you know, like like imagine if like neo-Nazis just like took over Florida and started ethnically cleansing it, and you know, somebody would be asking me like, oh, doesn't that upset you? And I'd be like, oh well, that's just in Florida. You know, could you imagine? That'd be horrible. So I think it's really disturbing that there is that sort of mixed reaction with Nigerians about Boko Haram, where some of them are just like, oh well, you know, that's a thing, and then others are like, yeah, it's a thing because the government is letting it be a thing, and the government is okay with them terrorizing the North. And that's kind of where we are with that. The other story on Boko Haram is about some of the fighting, and it's so depressing. Four killed in northeast Nigeria suicide attacks. So check out this story. Um, yeah. Well, that's it for today. We've got Nigeria sitting on their hands in the battle between Boko Haram and civilization. We have Israel dismantling basic security measures. Um, I'm just I just can't. I just can't even. I'm just so blown away by this whole situation. They're dismantling the metal detectors that would have kept Muslims, Christians, and Jews safe from stabbers and people smuggling guns in to the Temple Mount. But no, no, no. We don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to offend anybody. That would be the worst thing to do, is to offend a murderer or a terrorist. We don't want to offend those people. Oh gosh, yeah, that's that's horrible. We don't want to offend anybody.